Hello everyone, welcome to Sharmit. In this session, we are going to discuss about another very important topic of Angular, that is ngFor directive with keyvalue pipe. So in this session, we are going to discuss what is ngFor directive and why do we need to use ngFor directive with keyvalue pipe. Okay. So to explain this thing, what I will do, I will explain in a similar way. Firstly, we will discuss on the requirement, like what is the exact requirement where we are supposed to use ngFor directive with key value pipe, and when we are using it, then what all benefits we will get by utilizing it. Okay, so these are the all things which we will be discussing in this particular session, and all these things will be demonstrated by with one real world life related example. Okay, so and we will discuss everything from scratch. But before we proceed further, I would like to recommend you to please go and check out the previously released sessions first, because they all are in proper sequence and sync. So if you follow them sequentially, then it would be much more easier for you to understand the ongoing topic, because for timing we are just mainly focusing on how to use key value pipe with ngFor directive. Okay, so let's get started. So firstly, what we will do, we will try to understand the requirement, because once requirement is clear, then it is very easy for us to write the logic for the requirement. So let's go to app.component.ts file. Here what we will do, we will simply define one object. Now suppose there is one Instagram account and we want to show all the stats of that Instagram account. So for that, what we will do, we will create one object. Okay, so let's create the profile stats equal objects. So we are going to create one object with the name profile stats. Okay, now in this, what we will do, we will define each and every parameter. Firstly, we will define followers. In Instagram we have followers, right? So here we will define followers as, let's say 50,000 or 500. Let's keep it 500. Okay, then we will define here following. Something is wrong, we need to put colon here. Then we will write here following. In following we will define 150, then colon, then we will define posts. So in case of post, what we will define, 30 or as many as you want. Okay, so let's say 75 posts. Perfect. So now you can save it. So what we did so far, like we just created one object which is holding the results of which is holding the stats of one Instagram profile, like followers, following, post, right? Now once this thing is ready, it's time to define another important and prerequisite thing, that is module. If you want to use ngFor directive, then firstly you need to import the common module. So here we are going to do the same. So you just need to write here common module. So once you write common module here and import it, it will automatically add this in this line number 1. If it is not added, then you have to add it manually, because without this it won't work. Okay, it won't allow us to use ngFor directive. Now once we are ready with the module, we have defined the object. Now it's time to try to print this value. So what we will do, firstly I'll show you that when we try to print this object value without ngFor directive and without key value pipe, then what are the drawbacks? Why do we need it? So it will clear like why do we need it. Okay, so let's try to do it manually first. So we will go to app.component.html. Here I will put h2 heading. In this h2 heading, we will try to print this value directly without using ngFor directive or anything. So for that, maybe some of you might be thinking like we can directly use this curly braces 2 times. Then we will write here profile stats, and then we will simply put here like we can try to print like this. So let's see what will happen. So if you serve it ngserve -- open, enter, it will take few seconds and then it will open the application. So now you can see it is just simply printing object. Okay, now maybe you are thinking that we can directly use pipe with key value and it will give you the output. No, it will not give you the output. Why? because it will show you something like this: object, 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 and object, object. That means it is just focusing on the structure. So this is the wrong approach. So let's put the heading also so that you can easily verify it, and maybe here we can use h5. Okay, so here we will put printing object data without star ngFor directive. Okay, so this is the one thing, and we know like this is not the correct way. Now we will try second approach. In second approach, what we will do, we will try to use the JSON, because you might have seen me using JSON multiple time for the debugging purpose, right? So if you try with the that JSON thing, then what will happen? Let me show you. So I'll write h5 here. In h5 we will use curly braces, and in this curly braces we will write profile stats pipe symbol, and then we will use here JSON. So what it will do, it will show you the values, but not in that manner. Now you can see it is showing, but in a structured way. Actually it is showing the object structure, which is followers 500, following 150, and post 75. But it is also showing these curly braces, and we are not interested in these curly braces, right? We just want the actual value, not the structure in this way. In fact, if you try to use it with pipe symbol key value also, it won't work. Let me show you. So here we will write and with JSON. So here what we will do, we will write and with JSON and pipe key value. Still it won't provide you the required output. Okay, so you can see okay, we forgot to put it here, so let's put key value. Perfect. So you can see it is providing the output, but this is not we are looking for, right? Now finally we will see the actual result with the help of ngFor directive and key value pipe. So for that you just need to write one more heading here, just to show you. Here I will write printing object data with star ngFor directive with pipe key value. Okay, key value pipe. Now for this, what we will do, we will firstly define the div. In this div I will define star ngFor, and it is already defined, like we have already imported the common module. So if it is showing error, it's fine, you can move ahead because it is already imported. If it is not imported, then we need to import, otherwise you can go ahead. Now we will write here let stat of profile stats. Okay, and then we will simply put here key value after a pipe key value. So now we are good to print the values. Now what we will do, we will write here strong, just to show the title in a different way, and here in curly braces we will write stat dot key, then we will put maybe one colon just to separate out the things, and here we will write curly braces 2 times, and here inside this curly braces we will write stat dot value. Perfect. Now you can save it and refresh the browser, and you will see that this time we are getting the actual output, which is followers 500, following 150, post 75. Okay, so this is the advantage of using ngFor directive with key value. So basically what it is doing here, it is helping us to iterate one by one each key and value of the object, and with this key value pipe we can simply print out the required output by iterating through the objects. So we discussed 4 methods here, right? And now you can easily see that which one is the correct and most useful way, because here you are not getting anything. Here you are getting values, but not in the correct format, because we want the customized output, right? but we were not getting it here, and here also we are not getting. So this one is the correct approach, and here we are using ngFor directive with key value. So I hope this session is clear to all of you. In the next session we will discuss few more things. So thank you for watching Tech Sharmit.